To it, right? Georgia survives at Auburn 27-20. Just a classic SEC rivalry game. And I know Vegas had this at 14.5 for the Dogs. A lot of ifs and buts for Georgia. You don't turn it over twice. You cover that easily. But just goes to show, man, every single week, Georgia is going to get the other team's best shot.
Yeah, it's like when the Bulls come to town back in the day, the Lakers. You're going to get everybody's best shot, and this is what I say, Wes, and I've said it over and over and over again. And first of all, I want to say credit to Auburn because they played their asses off. But you got to knock a champion out. You can't knock him down for a count of 6. You can't knock him down for a count of 7. You got to knock a champion completely out. And Georgia just finds a way to take punches and just make plays when they had to. Carson Beck, can't say enough about him. Obviously, Brock Bowers is going to steal all the headlines, and he should. But Carson Beck, man, he made some big time throws and reads in that second half.
I want to focus just out of the gate here on the positives for Georgia. I know there was a lot of clinching of pearls and other things during this game here, but everything you just said was so true. When Georgia needed performances from its dogs, they got it on offense, on defense with that pick to end the game there. That's what this team is, and I think that's what we're learning. And I think you almost need to get used to it because they're nominating like you're used to probably. But the one thing I'll say about this team that we've learned, they're not going to quit. And at times it almost feels like they're a little too composed. I don't know if that's a thing, but kind of early in that third quarter after that second turnover, I was wondering, man, like, are they in this thing? Are they mean enough? Do they have enough grit to do it? And I think by the end of the game, you saw that composure is paying off for Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this was Carson Beck's first game on the road. And I don't care how much training you have, and Kirby can say, we do this. You cannot simulate Jordan Hare. You can't simulate down. You can't simulate a fumble. You can't simulate a turnover, a short field. Your first play, the second half, Wes, he throws a strike to Oscar Delp and the ball gets punched out. You know what I mean? So all those things, Kirby's smart tonight when he sits back and thinks about the win. He's going to smile because you know what? The Auburn gave his team something that he cannot, and that is a test on the road in an SEC environment, and everything was going against you, and you found a way to win. And I tell you what, man, if you've ever been in any type of locker room, I don't care what it is, any sport, when you have a player that you don't know about, they did not know, I don't care what they say about Carson Beck, you didn't know until you put him in a situation. You talk about answering the damn bell, Carson Beck, man, he answered the bell for Georgia, and that will go a long, long way in that locker room. Complete confidence. Mike Bobo can call any play. We can't say enough about Brock Bowers, man. I mean, we talk about this a lot, Wes. You said it too. You better enjoy watching 19 in this Georgia helmet because this dude is special.
Ever since that pick, man, he was rock steady. I mean, he looked like he was ready to go and like he'd been there a million times over. Yeah. And that was the test. That was what he had to pass, and he got it out of his system. It was brutal to go from, missing Delp on that first throw, which would have been 6, to the interception, which turned into 6 for Auburn. That was a 14-point swing. And then Delp's turnover too. I mean, that was the difference in the ball game. Now, it was kind of crazy to see Auburn run all over Georgia. CBS pointed out that it was the first time since 2018 that the Dogs had given up more than 200 yards rushing. I know that was Auburn's strong suit, but I don't think anybody expected them to do that with as much success as they had. So, great win. Yeah. But Kentucky's licking its chops watching this.
I'll tell you what, especially the running game. And I'll tell you this, too, for what I mean about Kirby Smart smiling when you think about his offense, it's going to be some sleepless nights about this defense and how they stop the run. And, Auburn, I kept thinking, how can Auburn win this game and throw for 50 yards? I mean, that's insane, but they almost did it. And credit Hugh Freeze for the game plan he had. And former Georgia tight end Randy McMichael, we were talking Thursday, and he said, Rusty, it would take something catastrophic for Auburn to win this game. And I'm talking 2 or 3 turnovers, and Georgia gave them that almost, those turnovers and those types of things. So you look at this from the whole big picture, Wes, and I'll sum it up. Great text from my friend just now. Watch out, Brock Bowers will be dating Taylor Swift by Friday. That was that type of performance by him. So I think when you look at offensively, you just smile and say, man, we found something tonight. Defensively, that is not a Georgia performance. And I guarantee you this, Wes, with that team coming in here, because Kentucky is a hell of a lot better on offense than Auburn is. And they're going to stretch you a lot of different ways. So when you look at that Bloody Tuesday practice this week, man, I would not want to be on that defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it was huge that Georgia got Mykel Williams back and Javon Bullard. I hesitate to think what today could have looked like without those guys on the field.
100%. And how many plays did Javon Bullard make in space, chasing somebody down? He chased Peyton Thorne down and saved 4 points when you think about it at the end of the day, because he was there for a touchdown. I don't know that Starks could have caught him. Just looking at the highlight on that, but Bullard, man, he's such a good player. He's got a nose for the football, and they're a different football team with 22 on the field.
Wonderful world of cheap toy man in the comments. He's looking forward to that Toy Story broadcast of the Falcons game tomorrow morning.
Oh yeah.
Beck, Bullard, Woodring, and Starks. Wow, steel nerves. Yeah, we haven't brought up Peyton Woodring yet. A lot of doubt about that dude coming into this game. I mean, Georgia went for fourth down last week against UAB. I'm not saying it was because they don't trust Woodring, but that's what the narrative was, and you needed him tonight. You couldn't always do that against Auburn's defense.
Yeah.
He stuck it through, man. I mean, even on some critical PATs, he's got some movement on that ball that kind of looks like some of my golf drives, and it makes you a little nervous, but he stuck it through when the Dogs needed him. So
and that's another thing too, Wes. You can't put a price on that. I mean, you can simulate all those things in practice, but that guy came out and nailed 2 kicks when his team needed him the most, and that's invaluable experience for that young man as he moves forward. I can't even imagine. I'm be honest with you, Wes, I couldn't watch the second one. I didn't watch it, so I'll have to go back on replay and see where that went. So you just kind of look and go, man, this ball's of nerves for that kid, and great job by him.
Kevin Boyd says, I'll take that dub. Beck turned the page. Go Dogs, no doubt. Bell needs to move to running back, according to RKD. I need to go back and watch. I didn't see much Dylan Bell as the game went on in the backfield.
They took him out a little bit, and I thought Cass Jones, I don't know. Jake Rowe will have more of an injury report.
Yeah.
It looks like he caught one of those little in routes from Beck, and I saw him kind of reach for his shoulder a little bit. And come to think of it, Wes, I didn't see him a ton after that. I have no idea the extent of that. Maybe just got a little burner, but that's something we'll follow up on DawgsHQ. But you're right, didn't see him. I tell you, when he came in, he had 2 big runs, and then he had a 3rd down catch on that one drive. So, Dylan Bell really impacted the game as well, as long as he was in.
Yeah, I need to pull up Beck's 3rd down stats as well, because it was 3rd down in Beck on the road in the SEC. Just another reason to give Beck his flowers after this game here. We're going to go back and watch this one again for sure, but a lot of concern here in the comments about Georgia struggling to set the edge, and that's not the first time we've seen that this year. Was it a scheme thing from Auburn? What were you noticing that was giving Auburn so much success running on that part of the field today?
Just my first kind of initial impression. I saw Marvin Jones Jr. struggle a little bit there. He got reached a couple of times. And, when you start playing this type of football, big time SEC football, it's really technique. You look at, I don't want to get into all the X's and O kind of stuff. It's really just leverage. I mean, it's head placement. You go inside and that tackle kind of swallows you up. And I saw that a couple of times. The good news about that's just a teaching moment. That is, hey, we show you what you did wrong. And it wasn't all on Marvin Jones Jr., but I think I saw a couple of times where he got reached. I thought Chaz Chambliss played one of the best games he's played. He may not be in the stat book, but, he was eating up blocks, doing those things. So interested to see how Georgia kind of grades this out defensively and what they do. Now, they're not going to sit there and face an offense like this for a while. With Devin Leary's not a running quarterback at Kentucky, even though they do have a great running back. You're not going to have to account so much for the running quarterback. And really, when Auburn kind of found that niche, they really hurt Georgia there. So I can tell you this, Georgia's going to face that down the line. Anybody that has that potential of a running quarterback. So when you look at all those things, I think, you come back, you got a lot of teaching moments on defense. And that was not something we're used to seeing. 200. I mean, they sliced Georgia up with a running game pretty much. Wes, I think you might be muted.
I can't give Auburn enough credit for what they did and how they did it. I mean, even on the kickoff returns, you go back and watch the replay of that, they were busting some heads, man. And that was kind of what was making me wonder, is Georgia going to match it? Is Georgia going to come out and swing on them and do what they're doing? And They didn't necessarily need to that extent, but I will credit Auburn because they were ready, between the hash marks, man. They were physical. They were playing hard. And a lot of people just assumed, oh, this team hasn't scored much. They've been, they're a one-dimensional team. They're not going to have a shot. But they didn't play like that. And that's, to me, what makes college football great. I know it's stressful for all the Georgia fans, a little stressful for us, too, to watch that one. But that's what makes college football great. These rivalries do still mean something to teams, even though, historically they've been dominated here recently.
I think people were really nervous about going down there. I talked to a lot of my close friends and talks about funny things happen at Jordan-Hare, and Georgia's had some games down there where just, tip ball here and go down there 2017, ranked number 1 and get ran out of the building. You turn around, West, right off the bat, you're down 10-0, have a couple of turnovers, not really do anything offensively. Georgia goes scoreless again in the first quarter. Just couldn't find it there. But Carson Beck, for as good as he played, he did miss Oscar Delp on a one-on-one, I thought. I would like to see a little bit better effort maybe out of Delp there. I don't know if he lost it, but, you wait a whole kind of series to get a matchup like that. You got to take advantage of it. But, we can get into all the X and O's and all those things this week on DawgsHQ and Jake Rowe, and everybody will. But I'll say this, man. You got to knock a champ out. I can't say it. You got to knock a champion out for a count of 10, and nobody's knocked Georgia out for a long time. It can happen, and it will happen sooner or later. But right now, Georgia just finds a way to take a punch and keep on coming at you.
Yeah, it's the most encouraging thing about this team. It's not as fun to watch. You're not going to be on cruise control for a lot of games this year, I don't think. I was wondering, is that Oregon game in there? We haven't seen it yet. So I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm not saying they won't figure it out down the road. But at this point in the year, they don't have it. One more that I want to get to here. Yeah, the team's resilient, according to comment here. The comment here about who's number 1, Texas number 1, Dogs number 2 team in the country. I don't really care right now. And I know that's kind of coach speak, but that stuff will all sort itself out.
Sure.
But, it's such a toss-up right now across the board in college football. You got an argument for Washington. You got an argument for Texas. They were struggling with Kansas, who's barely ranked. So, I mean, that's just where the game is right now. And I think y'all need to buckle up because it might look like this a lot more this season.
Yeah, this is – I've said it on the radio this week. This team is not as good as 2021. I don't think this team is as good as 2022. And I still think that every goal is in front of this team. It doesn't matter. Every goal is in front of this team. And you just go from week to week. And God, that is such coach speak from us too here. But that's really how you have. I know, man, that's not us. That's not our style. But, it really is this week to week, handle your business. And you want to be playing your best football in December. But everybody that's watching and everybody that will watch this week and everybody in that comment section, you can smile knowing that number 15, your quarterback, that nobody knew how he was going to react in this situation. Man, he was damn good in that second half. And you kind of watch that, Wes. You kind of see him growing up in the confidence building. And Carson Beck, man, I can't even imagine what he's feeling right now in that locker room because it's different high fives. It's different hugs. It's Mike Bobo looking you in the eyes and talking to you. And it's your head coach, Kirby Smart, putting his arm around you and said, let's ride. We can do this thing.
Yeah, a lot of credit being given to Mike Bobo in our comments too, and I like to see that because
he dialed him up to that. Yeah,
Rusty, I'll tell you, like you brought it up when Bobo came in, and people were kind of antsy about that. Even coming into the season, you pointed out, he never had a dominant defense, and I'm not. This defense isn't dominant, but they weren't dominant today. So if Georgia lost, it was not going to be Mike Bobo's fault. That's just the way it comes down in this one. But Dogs hold on. And I almost feel better about Carson Beck seeing that he struggled a little bit early and then seeing him 180 to what he did at the end, man. That's powerful stuff. Y'all hit like and subscribe on this YouTube channel. We are here every post game breaking down the Dogs wins. That's all we've had for the last, I guess they broke it down 665 days. So that's how often we break these wins down here on DawgsHQ. We're here no matter what, of course, and we're here every Sunday night at 8:30, every Monday at 9, and every Wednesday at 8:30 live right here, and everything popping at DawgsHQ.com. $1 for a 1-month trial run, and I think we still got a promo going where you can have premium access.
We do, yeah,
50% off
Jump on. I think we have a $1 deal, maybe, and I think you can go in for $1, but you can get 50% off for the year. Listen, I don't know how long they're going to do this, but it's a good time to be over there. Spend $1. Don't get a coffee tomorrow. Spend 30 days with us. If you don't like us, just cancel it. You know what I mean? Give us a chance on DawgsHQ, and love this site, doing great. This YouTube page is growing. Thank you to everyone that's liked and subscribed, and everyone that has passed it on to your friends. This YouTube page has taken off since this summer. Very, very thankful. And Wes, you do a hell of a job with that. And thank you for everybody in the comments that join us every week.
Coach speak, man. One moment at a time. Appreciate it, Rusty. We'll catch you soon. Y'all have a great night. Hydrate. See ya.